On a busy street in Northampton, behind the garden gate of number 39, is an oasis of calm. The garden is long and brightly coloured and leads down past a hedge to a wooden covered area where there's tea and cake waiting, and just past that is a purpose-built yoga studio. This lovely house garden and studio is owned by Debs. She told me how she came to set up OM Studio.
We bought the property 2001, renovated the house, and then I had a vision that as I was teaching yoga, why not bring the yoga into the space? So we then built this building at the bottom of our garden, which then became the OM Studio.
And what do you love about yoga?
I guess it's been a life-changing experience for me, really. I came to yoga when I was 29 and I've been practicing for some 30 odd years now. It's been a long time. It's helped my well-being, but particularly my state of mind. And I noticed that possibly when I come in contact with others, how yoga is serving me really well in my mind.
Okay, so just bringing your hands, palms together. Okay, and just keeping your eyes closed.
Kathy's just finishing up her class. Today there's David, his wife, Alex and Alan. Matthew Pellisok is a Community Sports Development Officer for Northampton Sport and told me how this Yoga for Cancer Patients initiative came about.
And just taking a little moment to remember.
Through work with Sport England, we received some Tackling Inequalities funding to get people with long-term health conditions more active. And working with Northampton and Kettering Hospital, the Macmillan Cancer Support Leads, they did a survey and yoga came out as one of the most popular activities for the cancer patients. So linking in with Ironstone Wellbeing in Kettering and the OM Studio here in Northampton, we've set together a 6-month programme of yoga classes for people either living with cancer or having pre-treatment or post-treatment or going through treatment to get them active and having some physical activity in their life. A lot of them are beginners and they were nervous, anxious about coming along. We've worked with them to make them understand it is beginner focused, it's very much introducing them to yoga and having that time to relax during the treatment. So, and we're getting quite a community of people now who are spreading the message that yoga is beneficial and physical activity is useful for them during their treatment.
So we all sat down in the garden and had tea and cake, and I chatted with yoga teacher Catherine Cross.
So I've been running a Stretch to the Future yoga class for patients who have been affected by cancer. Mainly we've got men and one of their wives in the class, and it's really just an opportunity to come and get moving and start to be more aware of their body and their breath and do it in a gentle way, getting them back into being around other people and just really starting to look at their health through a more kind of wellness approach as opposed to just focusing on their illness.
Do you have to tailor your yoga to anything in particular? Do you have to change it for the different people that you have in your class?
Yes, but that's always the case. But in this class, certainly, probably a lot of people haven't done yoga before. So we're starting off on more of a gentle level and really trying to help people connect into kind of just getting their bodies moving again, because most of us don't use our bodies nearly enough to keep them strong and fit and healthy.
It's also about the mind, isn't it, as well? Is it a little bit of mind over body and getting to know your body?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yoga is kind of all about the link between the body and the mind and the soul. So we do quite a lot of work on the breath and really kind of connecting into finding a moment of stillness and calm within the mind as well. But also just often I think people, especially a lot of people and people who are going through a journey with cancer or illness, feel a bit scared with moving their body in certain ways and knowing what feels good, or even how does their body feel. So that's a really nice way to connect back into kind of how it feels to move your body.
Alan and Alex have just taken part in the class, both fighting prostate cancer. I asked Alan what prompted him to come along.
I'm part of the prostate cancer support group, and we did have an email about it, and initially I didn't come along, but our friend David over there came along for a couple of weeks and sent an email around saying how much he was enjoying it and what benefits it was. So I decided to come and give it a try, and I think there was just the three of us that the first week that I came, and found it's been good. It's helped me try and stretch some muscles perhaps that I've not stretched before, because it's called Stretch to the Future, I think they've called it, and it's been really beneficial.
So Alex, perhaps you just tell me a little bit about your cancer journey.
I was a really keen cyclist. I just went out one day, I got soaking wet, caught an infection, urine infection. It never cleared up. I went to the doctors eventually, because it was during the midst of COVID, so it was very difficult to get to see a doctor. Had an examination, biopsy, and it was declared I had prostate cancer, stage 2 advanced. And with that, it was such a shock. I must admit it affected me mentally as well as everything else. And you have a choice to either have prostatectomy or radiotherapy. And I decided on radiotherapy. And God willing, I had my review on a week on Monday. It'll be a good outcome. People tell me that prostate cancer is one of the most common cancers there is. Every 45 seconds in England, in Britain, so a man dies of prostate cancer. But I can just say that I've had fantastic support from everybody. From Midland nurses at the hospital, from friends, from my church, from my wife Anne, who has stood by me. It's been a tough journey for her too, and from all my family.
And you were saying that the yoga helps your sort of mental well-being as well, does it?
Oh gosh, yeah. It's exercise, but it makes you relax at the same time, and it makes you think as well. And one thing this cancer has made me think, it's changed my way of life, because I do a lot more walking now with nature, and that is a fantastic energiser. When you're out with nature, it's a relaxant as well as a well-being feature. You meet other people, and it's become like a lovely group.